Hello, welcome to another video, and there's a lot going on with Activision and Call of Duty right now. So basically, if you didn't know, over a year ago now, probably a year and some months ago, Microsoft had agreed to purchase / merge. Basically, Microsoft was buying Activision Blizzard, and Activision Blizzard is the company that produces Call of Duty games. So they agreed to purchase Activision Blizzard for $70 billion, which is just a crazy amount of money. Like, I couldn't fathom, you couldn't fathom how much $70 billion actually is. You could think you could spend that, but you couldn't spend that. Since it was announced, it's been a legal battle for quite some time now regarding whether or not this purchase would be allowed. I'm not going to get too much into the boring talk about it, but this is big news right now, as essentially the UK CMA, I think is what the organization is called, has decided to block the purchase. I know, it's as crazy as it sounds. Random governments around the world can decide whether or not someone's allowed to purchase something. And even before that, the US securities company, basically the organization that overlooks the American stocks and companies, just pretty much making sure companies don't do terrible illegal shit, has already decided that they're suing Microsoft, I think, how it works. They're suing them basically to block the merger, the purchase. It sounds so crazy, the fact that they're blocking this, and it's all being based off of being fair competitively, if that makes sense. Not having as much of a monopoly in the system, making it fair. Because that's what matters in our today's society, is if these giant corporations that are buying companies for, let's say, $70 billion are doing it fairly. And so it's not looking good for Microsoft now. Leading up to today's decision with the UK, it seemed like at first it didn't seem good. It seemed everyone was going to block this merger. And then Microsoft released a bunch of deals that they made with various different platforms that Call of Duty was going to essentially be, multi-platform and continue to be for at least 10 years, probably more, for being honest. Xbox had basically announced they're going to keep it fair. They're not going to ruin the Call of Duty experience on other platforms or anything. The big thing, essentially, is what it seemed like what they wanted was to be able to even further incentivize people to get Game Pass. And how would you do that better than having a bunch of Call of Duties on there? So Sony was always against this merger. They were crying wolf for a long time during it, basically trying to nix the deal as quickly as possible. And so it wasn't looking good until Xbox said that they weren't going to fuck people over with Call of Duty. That was what seemed like the biggest issue. But this morning it was all over Twitter that it was, in fact, blocked. Surprisingly enough, they announced an actual reasoning why it was blocked. And it kind of makes it worse. Oh, that's a nice little collat. It makes it worse because they full out stated it was not because of Call of Duty. Apparently, the reason for this to be blocked was cloud gaming. That's it. They would have a competitive advantage in cloud gaming. Honestly, saying that out loud, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a healthy amount of people that don't even know what the fuck cloud gaming is. A niche thing to start with that I understand potentially in the future it being a bigger thing than it currently. Oh, come on. But currently the technology and stuff is not there right now. Xbox, with this merger, would have too much of an advantage in cloud gaming in the gaming industry. Oh my goodness, I tried to hit the freaking throwing knife. But with all of this coming out, Microsoft also had their business quarterly presentation type stuff. They released all their info for the first quarter of the year. And some people are just going crazy about it for no fucking good reason, if I had to be honest. So there's a graph, and it had Activision, it had Blizzard, and it had the other big company, I think the mobile gaming side of Activision. It essentially showed that the player base had dropped relatively significantly since December to now. But part of that to me makes sense with the fact that Christmas was right after Christmas. It was in December. I think the date was December 31st was the end date. So it just makes sense that that number would be the most inflated no matter what, being Christmas was just there, you know, it looks the best. But people did not think about that at all. They literally just went to the fact that everyone's shitting on Call of Duty right now because Call of Duty is not doing well. And oh, look, the numbers back up my claim, so I can't be wrong. Are you kidding me? When have I ever been wrong? I'm a content creator, or I'm followed highly on Twitter. I can't be wrong. That's impossible. The numbers essentially evened out to around last year's time, like mid last year when it's on its slow end, which right now is the slow end for Call of Duty. It is every year. Unless you really enjoy the Call of Duty, you're not going to stick around for 8 months after the game's release. What's the point, right? So I think a lot of that was over-exaggerated, over-talked about, which it is what it is. You're going to get that on the internet. I don't know why you'd ever expect not to. The craziest thing to me was seeing how out of touch people still are with how they don't know the video game industry at all. If they were worried about Activision or Microsoft having this advantage in the cloud gaming industry, I don't know you could call it really an industry anymore. Like right now, like there's not that much going on besides what Microsoft's doing. Sony, I don't think really has anything going at the cloud gaming. And like it makes sense because of the type of company Microsoft is, which owns Xbox, that they're going to be more advanced for that kind of tech. And it's not like Activision is this huge cloud gaming company. Like they have phone games and stuff, so maybe they tie that into it. But to my knowledge, they don't have this groundbreaking technology. Cloud gaming is definitely going to be the most valuable thing in this. You know what I mean? It feels crazy. I feel like most normal people that play video games, and not even Call of Duty, just any in general, think about gaming. The casual gamer has a console. 100%. I would bet my life on that. That the everyday normal video gamer probably is on a console, and then you kind of graduate to a PC once you're in. You know, like how much complicated a PC can be compared to just a console. You just plug it in, put the game in, buy a game, whatever it is, and then away you go. While PC, you know, you have random different things going on. All of this. What the fuck was that? But I assume most casual gamers that are actual gamers, I would say, they probably don't interact with cloud gaming in any fucking capacity. Like the only way I interact with cloud gaming is that when I go on Game Pass on my Xbox, it shows me what games I could be playing via cloud gaming. That's it, and I'm going to let you know a little secret. I'm never going to actually use that, because why would I bother? I would just download the fucking game. But to say that this merger couldn't go through just because of cloud gaming feels so crazy. Microsoft did announce that they were planning to appeal it. And obviously I'm slightly biased. I have an Xbox, so I want it to go through just for the simple fact that it likely means a lot older Call of Duties will get onto Game Pass, which would be amazing for the fact that so many more people would have an easy-ass way to try and play them. And then they will be slightly alive again, and I can actually go back and easily play an older Call of Duty and find a match easily. Maybe even a bigger brain situation. They pull a Halo type of thing. I commented this on someone on one of my older previous video, and what if they decided to say F it and have like a collection? Is that a collat headshot? Thank you. But maybe they'll do that and just basically relive all those games that way. There's too many Call of Duties to have every Call of Duty in that for sure. And I'm sure they would cut certain ones out. I'm sure they wouldn't touch fucking Ghosts. Hopefully they don't touch Advanced Warfare. But like that would be a massive win for the Call of Duty community if they did something like that, in my opinion. And it would be on Game Pass for sure, which that'd be so nice. But yes, I have made further progress in the polyatomic grind. I have all the LMGs are done now. All the SMGs are already done. I have all of the assault rifles also done now. I did both of those in literally one day. That's insane considering how bad the platinum grind actually was. But that's my overall thoughts on the whole Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard situation. It seems kind of like it's a sinking ship right now. I don't think either company is going to fully give up. I don't think Microsoft's going to give up on this because they're so far into it already and so committed. It would feel crazy for them to just abandon ship now. Like, they're already going through so much shit just to have this happen. So I don't know. I think it's going to go through eventually. Will it take longer? Absolutely, it's going to. I think they're also going to have to do some things to appeal to these governments and whatever bodies of organizations that they didn't want to at first. Overall, I think they're going to say, okay, fine, we'll do whatever cloud gaming thing that you want us to do to let us buy our new $70 billion toy. It's a wacky situation overall, thinking this, how, like, the amount of money changing hands and just everything, it's wild. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm crazy, if I'm an Xbox fanboy because I have an Xbox. But other than that, I hope you guys are having a great week. I'll see you guys on Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.